Good morning, boys and girls. It is a beautiful Monday morning. It is not raining, despite what I suspected it would do. And it is a balmy, blissful 51 degrees with lots of cloud cover, trapping in that heat. Good. Some points. Someone suggested I was being silly for wearing a PVC rain outfit yesterday rather than a Gore-Tex rain outfit. If you ever spend a good deal of time outdoors when it's really raining, you will quickly learn that Gore-Tex doesn't keep you dry. It will keep you dry-ish for a while, but then for me, I have a couple jackets and one pair of pants that are made out of Gore-Tex. For me, around the stitching, water always starts coming in. So the zipper down the front, even though it has an overlap thingy, you'll still get the front of your underclothes will still be all soaked. And around the sleeves, around the wrists where they have stitching, again, the water will soak through. So I'm not a huge fan, if it's really raining, of Gore-Tex. Light rain, fine. In the rain for just a bit, fine. Long period in the rain, PVC is a friend to me. It doesn't breathe very well, and you'll build up sweat in it, but at the end of the time out in the inclement weather, you'll be drier than had you been wearing Gore-Tex and had the water come soaking through. That's my experience. Maybe you know better jacket manufacturers than Columbia, and I forget what the other one I have is. Anyway, so that's why Gore-Tex is only for light rain for me. Let's go back to incriminating, because Two Tooth for Liberty, much like with vaccines, where he retardedly thinks that vaccines are somehow bad for you, he still is fighting on the Fifth Amendment, and I don't honestly know why. Incriminating means exactly what the dictionary means. He wanted a source out of a Supreme Court case, whatever. It means exactly what it means. And yeah, I did find it. He directed me to it, so he knew what it meant, and it meant incriminating. Incriminating means incriminating. It means that you have a Fifth Amendment right not to say anything that makes it more likely that you committed a crime. Your name doesn't make it more likely that you committed a crime. Your name may make it more likely that they know who you are, and something like, okay, for example, let's say the police have a rape victim. For whatever reason, maybe she's dead. But they find traces of black powder in her vagina. If the police go to, let's just pick a random name out of the air. Let's call the suspect Earl, or the suspect. We'll call the suspect Earl. If they go to Earl and they say, "What's your name?" His name isn't incriminating. It doesn't make it more likely than not that Earl would have committed the rape. If they say, "Where's your black powder pistol?" Earl. Well, that's something that may be incriminating. May be incriminating. There may be traces of DNA on the barrel of that black powder pistol. And Earl would be within his Fifth Amendment right to not answer that question, to not answer any more questions. Just, you know what, I'm taking the Fifth. Obviously, you guys think that I committed it. I'm not going to give you any help in determining where my black powder pistols are or anything like that. Similarly, if they ask Earl, if he owns any other property, like because they want to go search it for the weapons or something, he could also take the fifth on that, especially if the weapon's located on another piece of property. And he reasonably believes that if they go to that property, they'll find the weapon. He would be within his Fifth Amendment right to say no. I'm not answering that question, because that question may actually lead to incriminating evidence against him. And so he would be within his right to not say it. But his name doesn't lead to incriminating evidence. It has to be something that makes it more likely that you committed a crime. Or it has to lead directly to something that's more likely, that makes it more likely that you committed a crime. Hey Earl, do you have any other vehicles? Or where's your car, Earl? Well, maybe there's the dead body of a hooker in the trunk of his car. If he tells them where the car is and they go there, they might smell the decomposing body of the hooker. He'd be within his right to take the fifth on it. There has to be evidence that is incriminating. That's the reason why the court uses the word incriminating. Makes it more likely that you committed the crime. It has to go towards one of the elements of a crime. And having a dead hooker body, dead hooker body in the trunk of your car does satisfy the elements of several crimes. Believe it or not. Unless you're playing a video game, I guess. So the challenge was, and I know other people have kind of want to say it's a Fourth Amendment. You have a Fourth Amendment right to not hand over your ID because, you know, that's a search by the police. And the court addressed that directly in Hibble. There's reasonable suspicion already for the stop. So the reasonable standard of the Fourth Amendment, because remember, the Fourth Amendment, it only protects you from unreasonable searches and seizures. So the search and seizure has to be unreasonable in order for the Fourth Amendment to kick in and protect you. And if the state already has reasonable suspicion for the stop, and the statute in Nevada does require reasonable suspicion, then the Fourth Amendment won't protect you from it. The Fourth Amendment is ever more clearer than the Fifth because Hibble directly addressed it. So I hope that helps. I hope this dead horse has been fully beaten to death and we can get past that the Fifth Amendment does not protect you from IDing yourself in a state that has a statute that requires you to ID under reasonable suspicion or probable cause standards. I hope I've made that clear. I've been using that caveat the entire time. Every once in a while you'll see retards pop in with not every state has stop and ID laws. Yes, I'm aware of that. I'm aware of that. Stay focused, kids. Everybody stay focused. Speaking of staying focused, I had I think a good interview with Law and Smoke. I think he's a much bigger fan of pipe smoking than he is of Fourth Amendment law on reasonable suspicion and probable cause, but what are you gonna do? Seems like a very, very nice fellow, very reasonable fellow who got caught up in a community that is very passionate and not entirely educated, and I don't think he was fully prepared for the challenges that were ahead of him. I believe I took him to Pound Town. Ironically, the channel that the interview is hosted on is Pound Sand. If I remember, I'll put a link to it in the description below. But yeah, I thought it was a pretty good interview. No yelling, guys, don't worry. He was a reasonable person, and I can have reasonable discussions with people who are being reasonable. So, check it out. If you're interested in pipe smoking, check out his channel. he is certainly passionate about it, and he'll discuss all the different tobacco flavors with you. Anyway, thanks for watching. Have a good Friday. Or Friday. I wish. Have a good Monday.